Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Activision Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. It is good to see you on this wonderful Thursday night.
But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
It is indeed a good night to see, if I may say so myself, although you missed my shoving of Rose into the camera as you did the intro.
Damn! Okay, well, for those who showed up...
Premeditated on your part.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, while you watch this show, please make a list of things that Charlie and Zealeus do, and we will make these fucking bingo cards happen, okay?
And what is the prize for getting bingo?
I have no idea. We'll figure it out. Anyways, this is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you during the show. If you haven't submitted a topic, question, or an opinion, have no fear. You could, of course, drop it into the chat at any point during the show. We'll try to incorporate it into the show.
What if no topics are important to me?
If we run out of time, we will then push that topic over to the next show. That being said, we do have one topic that we were unable to cover last week, so we'll have to start there. Although I did give a teaser to it last week. As you might know, ladies and gentlemen, the range of online games is always increasing. And, of course, one of the very popular things out there, you know, the first-person squad shooting games or your MOBAs or, you know, basically PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I was given, which I can already give you the answer, well, I already know an answer for, is why is it that you have all these games out there and yet not all of them have the ability to do, like, if it's like a squad game, let's say it's a 5v5, okay? So you and 4 CPUs on one side and 5 on the other, or something around those things in different modes. Why don't we see it? So
Money.
That's,
it costs money to develop the AI to do so, and therefore B, it costs less to make it without it. And I think a large part of that too is it's kind of like the staying power of that element, right? If you put the bots into there, like for instance, like Overwatch has bots that you can throw into there, and people can create like game workshops around that to kind of help training it. But it's not a core focus of the game, so that's really not what's drawing people into the game. And I think that's really what it comes down to is, are they going to invest that time to create that AI very well that's going to really draw the players in? Or is it more of a actual AI-based game, which completely kind of turns it on its head? Some games, like Overwatch, they do have the more simple, I would say, AI that is in there, but it is not a core element of the game. I think the other part that's important too, and you see this more in MMOs, is like when Overwatch does against the bots, certain characters are much more powerful than others because it's PvE, player versus environment versus PvP kind of. But they don't have to balance it around that because it's like for events and special like arenas. So there's no real balance needs for playing against the bots. But if you come up with a game, and it's like this actually has player versus bots. It's not just the AI that has to be coded. It's also all of a sudden now, every time that you already tweak a character for a PvP game, people cry out in anger and anguish. Now all of a sudden you have both PvP and a true kind of PvE environment. People are going to get even double angrier because now you're affecting their character in both ways. So I think overall it's just easier, and I think it comes down to, is there a need for a lot of these games to have a true, beyond the throw basic of 4 bots into a game? Is there a true need for it?
I will, let's see here. Yes and no. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it, damn it.
So you were saying about bots.
Okay, yes. So the yachts. All right. So, yes, Zealeus, it is quite expensive to have that kind of functionality in there. But let's be honest. Anything in a video game nowadays is going to cost you an arm and an effing leg. That being said, there's a couple things. First of all, yes, when you're especially when you have characters that you're going to continue to tweak. One of the things is that you are going to, as a developer, you have to decide, of course, where the money is going to be spent. And I think for the most part, companies would rather try to tweak the matchmaking system over trying to make your AI better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a perfect world, you would have both. And the reason why I think a lot of people out there might be interested in the ability to, like go up against just AI is so that there are a lot of games where that's not an option, and the wonderful toxicity of the online world will kick quite a few gamers in the nuts, and they won't even truly get into the game before they're like, F this.
Yeah.
But that being said, there is enough gamers out there that companies don't have to worry about adding the CPU or the AI component into the game. I, of course, would love to have that ability. However, Zealeus is correct, and I think if it was like a 1v1, one person against one person, AI probably not going to be that big of a deal. But when you have a lot of squad mechanics, and you're also you're constantly tweaking the characters, so there's going to be that balance thing going on as well. That just makes it really, really complicated to make sure the AI acts accordingly. Because there's a very good chance that if you tweak a character and just give the AI programming a pass over, you might have just awoken like a mega beast team or made them the littlest weenies in the playground. So yeah, I would love to see it. Zealeus is right. It's all about the monies. Especially now that we've got so many games coming out there that I don't think a company could really spend that much time on trying to perfect the AI before gamers would move on to the next best thing. And that's my 2 cents, ladies and gentlemen.
And I mean, I think part of it too is you've seen with games that just PvP without having a true versus bots or PvE, whatever you want to call it, is not required to do well. I mean, we've seen time and time with all these new battle games that are just basically strictly PvP that they work from a sales standpoint. I do wonder if the social pressure of it works. And what I mean by that is a lot of online game and some single player games, to be fair, is the cash crop. And there's probably some psychology behind it where, that is a large cash crop, obviously, for the publishers. And, if you have not just your extra large sword of +2, but my extra sword of +2 with lightning bolts and flames, and it just looks really cool, there's probably some psychology behind people who are going to be more incentivized to get these cool looking skins and other things if you're in an online game
versus so you can show it off to everyone.
Single player. Yeah, so you can show it off. That's kind of, I guess, one of the benefits of buying the skins is showing it off. And from a publisher's perspective, right or wrong, they're probably like, well, if it's single player only, then people we're only gonna spend $5 instead of $6 on the skin. So therefore it must be online always, so that we can get that extra 10% of sales, sir.
Okay, I'm going to jump on my soapbox here about skins. If it's a first-person game, F that. You don't pay shit for skins. If you want to see skins, if you want to see different skins, you pay to put them on all the other players. If you're putting on yourself, when the hell are you going to look at it? Either in the pause menu or when you're dead on the ground. And is that really the best time?
Bow before my pixelated awesomeness.
Oh, boy.
You understand all of the God tier roles. I have got that. You have not, sir.
So, Zealeus, I have a follow-up question, because you were talking about the cash shop and stuff. What is the one thing that you're most likely to spend money on in a game?
I would say probably cool-looking mounts, actually, in games, because I think to your point, to be fair, as much as I try to battle your argument, I also actually kind of agree with it.
Yeah.
And with that is mounts, that's the one place in games where when you're on your mount, you do actually see it. Because like most games where you have mounts, you kind of go out to that over-the-shoulder or far-out third-person view.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the one case where you actually can see your pixelated awesomeness. I think another good example that you use is actually, I don't play, but Legends of Runeterra,
mm-hmm.
where you buy like a placemat or the back of your cards, whatever it is, because that's like a skin that you're always interacting with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when it's something that I constantly see or know is there, yeah, it does make a difference. I would definitely say there is some truth to that from that kind of third-party perspective.
What is your view now with all these online games? One of the other components of a successful online game is that you have some sort of like event, and there's like a free and there's a premium version where you could get like more tchotchke skins or whatever. What is
the battle pass, basically?
Huh?
Like a battle pass.
Yes, exactly. How do you feel about that?
It depends on the game. Like Destiny's battle pass, like for instance, Destiny 2. To me, the price of their Destiny's basically free to play,
mm-hmm.
And you have the DLCs to buy. But like the price of the battle pass, it's basically the equivalent of a price of like an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I'm okay with. Like, I don't see a problem with it. It's actually, to me, it's also good because it's actually useful in-game items. It's just not like random, like, it's not loot rolls. Because as we see a lot of games is you get extra loot rolls. So in like Destiny 2, I like playing for the battle pass because you're getting good, useful stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. But when you play a lot of like that 5-person arena games, like on your mobile phone, in that case, it's very different to me because first off, they game it because it's not just one, but they have like 2 or 3 battle passes you can get to like further game the system. And on top of that, they're not cheap. Like, I remember what Destiny 2's price is, honestly, but it's not unreasonable to me. I'm like, okay. But like, like the free-to-play games, you look at the price of their battle passes, and they get freaking expensive. And then you also get a lot of that. It's also the RNG-ness. So I think, like, if it's
spell out RNG again.
Yeah. Oh, always. So I think for me, if you kind of keep under that $15 to $20 threshold, I'm like, okay. But when it's every month and you have like multiple battle passes for like 20 plus a pop, yeah, now that's just a giant cash grab. And I think it's also different when it's a cash grab on top of everything else that you need to do to progress in the game. It's not like just one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So as Zealeus has alluded to, I play quite a bit of Legends of Runeterra. And they just a big event that they just had a big event and it just closed. They of course have like the free version of the event where you basically get like quests to attack with a certain regions creatures X amount of times. You level up this champion this many times, and then of course it gives you the points, and then the points can then unlock like a new icon picture, or maybe a card back. But if you do like the premium version, one of the things that they do in Legends of Runeterra, which I could really care less about, it really is like, look at how shiny this is. But they have this thing where if you do enough, you can it will choose 3 random cards that you own, and then you could choose like the crystal like border for it. Mm-hmm. So the champions, of course, have like the gold crystal border. And so if you're playing the premium version, you got the gold crystal border of the new champion. I mean, you could still have the champion, just not without that cool border. It's really just, it's window dressing. But and I'm totally okay with it because they don't constantly have events. It's really when they're ushering in something big. And of course, because Legend Runeterra is part of like the Riot family, they actually were hosting this event not only in Legend Runeterra but also in all their other games. So that I'm down for. And I have to be honest with you, the vast majority of the times, if I'm going to buy something for a mobile game that I'm enjoying, it's probably going to be the most simple purchase to ever make, and that is remove ads.
I'll be the first to admit I do that. And if I do it, though, to remove ads, it's also because I've played the game for a couple of days. I played it. I'm like, okay, I actually like this game, and I'll continue to play it, so I'll remove the ads. So, yeah, in that case, I'm good with that.
Well, for me, it's like if I pick up the game and then I'm locked in for like over an hour and I have not wanted to stop, I'm like, you know what? I've already gotten like the $5.99 out of this game, so there you go. It's it's usually somewhere between $3.99 to $5.99. But I want to tell those effers out there who have a fucking like, we'll turn off the ads for a month. I want to punch you in the nuts.
Oh yes, those. Yep, I've seen those games. It seems like a more recent trend.
Yes. Well, they're trying a different subscription, which technically so
that makes me want to like basically stop playing the game when I see that.
Agreed. You're not getting any complaints out of me on that one. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump around here a little bit. Let us go with the fact that the voice of Knuckles for the next upcoming Sonic movie has been announced. And although when Sonic the Hedgehog first came out into theaters and blew everyone's socks off, everyone thought The Rock would get... actually, I even think The Rock requested to be the voice of Knuckles. It is not going to Dwayne Johnson, but it will be going to Idris Elba, which I'll be very interested to see.
I mean, I think he'll do fine.
Oh, I'm sure he'll do fine, but I since, The Rock's like, I want to do this, in my mind, up to this point, I've seen Knuckles talking Dwayne Johnson style. And Idris Elba talks different. The cadences and the the accent and all that stuff.
I do need to watch the first Sonic the Hedgehog. I haven't actually watched it.
It's really good. I mean, it's really good. I was surprised how good it was. And to be honest with you, the extra crap ton of money that they had to pour into it to redo the look of Sonic was worth its weight in gold.
Because when the first scenes were released of the original CG, and everybody was like, what is this abomination?
It was like a mouse rat looking thing. We're like, no, it has to look like Sonic. And they're like, okay.
I guess my first thought of Sonic is still the original. I guess I just haven't got over that.
Dude,
my mind is stuck in the past.
No, I mean, but the thing is, this Sonic looks like the original Sonic in 3D in the real world. I mean, that's what it looks. I mean, they fixed it. And to be honest with you, Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik was like a match made in heaven. And also because I do watch the random romance movie every now and then, was beyond thrilled for James Marsden to actually get the freaking girl. That man is always losing out to some other punk. I mean, if you look at all the movies that James Marsden's been in, he's always that guy who's with the perfect girl, but loses her to someone else, the underdog, the whatever. but he actually gets the girl at the end of this one. And to be honest with you, the
Yeah,
dialogue is great. The dialogue is also great in Sonic the Hedgehog. So
that's not something you expect to say about Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
to be honest with you, a lot of the video game movies based off of video games, the dialogue's going to suck balls. Because either they're going to try to put in all the catchphrases from the game, it's just going to be awkward, or they're going to try to Hollywoodize it, and it's going to be bastardized into the ground where the only thing that's really there is the name of the characters.
That happens.
But that's my 2 cents.
What if I want 3 cents, sir?
Huh?
What if I want 3 cents?
All right, for your 3rd cent, let's go with the fact that for those people who are diehard Witcher fans, I have a thrilling, exciting, possibly exciting thing to tell you. There is a place in Poland that you can buy a ticket, and this ticket will allow you to spend 3 days in a castle. It will, during that time, you'll get extensive supervised training in all Witcher arts, and then you'll also be sent on quests to hunt down beasts that can be found in both the books and the video game series.
Why aren't you there yet?
COVID.
Oh.
Let's be honest. If COVID was not a thing, I'd be like, hey, Julie, I know we've always wanted to go to Poland, right?
I mean, tickets are actually less than $1,000 each, which is not. I think it would actually be more, honestly, based on that description. I was actually thinking like a couple grand each, for the kind of unique experience you're getting. To me, that's actually not a bad vacation when you think of like what it costs, like go to like say Italy or go on a cruise or something. Those sure as hell ain't cheap.
But the really interesting and also awesome thing about this is that this was actually a non-sanctioned CD Projekt Red thing. It was basically just a bunch of LARPers, live action role players, who basically just did this Witcher thing on the side. But now CD Projekt Red is going, that's fucking smart. And they're like, yeah, we give you our blessing if you give us a cut of the money. Which they probably can use after all the lawsuits they had to go through with Cyberpunk 2077. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, if I was able to get over there, dude, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
It sounds like a good anniversary gift.
Yes, but because
look,
the thing is that every single day, all the rules about international travel and COVID change. So it's a bitch and a half to get out of the States and then come back in the States because the rules could completely change in that time.
Yeah, now is definitely not the time to go traveling overseas. I would definitely agree with that.
Well, so I guess it was back in early June. My family had postponed I think I've said this on the show, but my family, of course, COVID 2020, all of travel was basically in the toilet. And we postponed our vacation to 2021. And so we ended up in Jamaica. And the amount of freaking hoops you had to jump to get to be able to board the plane and then to come back was crazy.
Did everybody make it back? Did you lose anyone?
It was a close call with my brother-in-law. But it turned out he was just getting an extra beer at the bar.
That's not surprising.
But anyways, but I will once regulations, everybody get their fucking vaccine shots and wear your damn masks so that we can try to return to some kind of normalcy. Then I'll check this out. I have some more thoughts about
I sit here in my room and it's perfectly safe in here. I have an incubation chamber. I don't go more than 6 feet closer to anyone in my house, and it's great.
Well, there you go. I have 2 what do you call it? Petri dishes named called kids.
Yes, you do.
But you know, the beautiful thing is that the county that we're in, they mandate masks, so that's good.
You mean our governor hasn't been like, no, you cannot do that?
The governor's trying. Okay, I'm not getting into politics because right now there are certain individuals who deserve a good ball kicking, but I'm going to avoid that. And I am going to talk about. You know what? Let's do friends of the show first, and then we'll get into the heavy hitting stuff because our favorite company that seems to be jumping into the freaking headlines every single week now is in it again. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me do a quick rundown of the friends of the show.
We have friends?
Yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, the first friends of the show is the one and only the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you'd like more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTER.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the next one is a friend of the show, a long supporter who started supporting us back in the days of the convention that shall not be named. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And of course, this one, he is my hero, so let's talk about Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you'd like more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. And I just scheduled my next appointment with Dr. Ryan next week. So I am super excited because I get to get adjusted. And he does do, like I said, it's a mobile, it's mobile chiropractic care. He'll come to you. I don't remember how much time between visits. He'll basically set up for like every single week, every 2 weeks. I'm at every 4 weeks. And then ever so often he'll do like a scan to make sure that the muscle tension and the alignment are actually where they need to be. And then of course you can see the progress on all the cool screens. But anyways, highly recommend if you are in the greater Atlanta area, check out Hero Chiropractic. Ladies and gentlemen, since we gave so much love and attention to the friends of the show, I do want to do a little bit of Alter Confusion love as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing to Alter Confusion, as it is every single year, is that we, for the 10th year straight, will be participating in Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to our chosen hospital, which of course is Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. I'm about to tell you. Altered Confusion has a Patreon that allows us to, continue to do what we like to do. It allows you, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, aliens, ghosts, monsters, mythical creatures. I can't remember the rest of them. I really need to write this shit down. But anyways, it allows all of you to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight to our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. There's a $1 tier and a $5 tier. At the $1 tier, which is $1 a month or $12 a year, you gain early access to all the playthroughs and also get the ability to have patron-only entries, which some of them will have polls or maybe give you some information that the public doesn't know. The next tier is the $5 a month tier or the $60 a year tier, which will get your name or organization into the thank you section for Thursday Night Hangouts. And that, of course, will also give you access to the playthroughs and the ability to do polls and patron-only things. If you're interested in becoming a patron today, go to www.patreon, that's patreon.com/altered confusion, all one word. Let's see here. Right now, if you are a patron, you have early access to the Beast Inside playthrough, which was kind of freaky. I'm also playing another horror game that I was going to do a playthrough for, but I ran into the infamous problem that gamers can run into. And that is you have so many chances to get through a certain chapter and then you have to start again. And lo and behold, I was basically 3 steps away from completing a chapter when my final character died. So I had to start all over again. I think it's called Song of Horror, I believe is the name of the game. I streamed it last time. I was on Tuesday. And if you tuned in, you probably saw me jump out of my effing skin a couple times because I fell for the jump scare too many frickin' times.
I got you.
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but there's one situation where what could happen is if you play the characters in a certain order, because you play one character at a time. If you play one of the characters early on in the second chapter and he dies, there's a good chance that his specter will come back and kill another character.
Cool.
No, not cool.
Why not?
Because that's how I had to restart the entire effing chapter. Because I wasn't paying attention, and then I heard the gun go right as he blew my brains out.
Well, you shouldn't have let your character die.
Ha 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 ha. No. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump back into the news and our favorite company. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk once again about Activision Blizzard. Is still in some hot water. Big surprise, right?
I mean, it's the week or weeks of news.
Yes, of course. So, of course, one of the big things is Activision Blizzard, thanks to the lawsuits around like fair practices with the hiring and welfare of the individual, they have a new target painted on their back, and that one is being created by the contract workers.
Oh, the people that we love in companies.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening with these contract workers is basically they are all going on the record saying, we are being crushed to death by toxic culture within the company. And the motto, the unwritten motto, apparently, when it comes to contractors at Activision Blizzard is use, dispose, repeat. Which is it's a fancy way of saying burn them and turn them.
So is that not normally how contractors are treated at AAA publishing companies?
Let's be totally honest. Being a contractor is a very dangerous thing. Yes, you get the experience. If you work for a good company, maybe there's a very good chance that maybe you get to like on board afterwards. But with a contractor, you of course lose a lot of the full employee
like health benefits,
and retirement and all that stuff.
PTO.
Yeah, PTO. So you're basically at the mercy. And so what do? It's cheaper. So they're going to squeeze every ounce out of you and then throw you to the side into the burning trash heap.
Basically disposable cattle.
Exactly. It's an unfortunate thing, but it's cheap labor. Here's the deal. The company's either going to seek offshore help or they're going to have contractors. The U.S., of course, you got to follow the hourly pay rate scales and stuff. So, of course, it's got to be higher than what they can pay offshore. But they're going to try to squeeze everything out of you in a very tiny amount of time.
It's okay. I can live off of $14 an hour in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah, if you live in a trash can.
Wow, that's a pretty...
Sorry. My bad. Paper bag.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay.
The metal in the trash can or the plastic is probably too expensive. So paper bag.
Shooting a little bit there.
Sorry. A paper bag. A moist paper bag.
So there's also, but you do know it starts tomorrow coming from Blizzard.
Tell us, Zealeus.
The Diablo 2 Resurrected closed beta for those who.
I saw. I didn't have time to check it out, but apparently, they have released they've redone the opening trailer to Diablo 2, pimped it out.
The thing that actually has gamers up in arms right now, though, is so originally, as Blizzard is wont to do, they originally said that LAN play would be. When I say LAN play, I mean direct, non through the official Blizzard server connection multiplayer.
Kids, for those out there who are young and not as awesome as Zealeus and I, LAN means local area network.
And originally, Blizzard said, yep, it's cool. It's part of the original D2. It's going to be part of Diablo 2 Resurrected. And there's some pretty cool mods that are built around it. It also requires you to play with your buddies in your house without playing in the great universe.
Memories!
Probably to the shock of, to maybe the disappointment, but not shock of people. One day before the closed beta, Blizzard has been like, nah, never mind. Multiplayer has to be online only. Sorry, no LAN play for you.
You know, to be totally honest with you, when that information came out that they were going to keep LAN play in, I'm like, but you make everyone your bitch by making you go through battle.net. Why would you roll that shit back just for this game?
Well, because it's Diablo 2 and it was a harkening back to the roots, and that was the whole idea of the nostalgia. And people were excited about being able to play the mods for Diablo 2 with Diablo 2 Resurrected. That was going to be one of this is cool, man. We can do this.
Look, man, all you got to do is you get 3 computers into a single room. You all load up into battle.net, and you can play together.
You can't anymore.
Yeah, you can, because you're going into battle.net through an internet connection coming back down.
Yes, you'd have to create a room and lobby and stuff instead of just doing it locally on your own local area network.
Well, of course, the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's lame.
But okay, so I'm totally joking. By the way, I loved the ability to do LAN play. I lost a lot of hours playing LAN matches of quite a few games. back in the day. But Zealeus did speak about, I mean, of course, we're talking about the Diablo 2 re-release, but I do want to bring some shocking news. Because Activision Blizzard, of course, has never been in the news as of late. It turns out that the lead designer of Diablo 4 has now gone bye-bye. Now, they don't really... They really don't put a lot of information into it, but basically, because of all these lawsuits, it looks like three more big names from Blizzard are now gone. Jesse McCree, which is a lead game designer, Luis Barriga, which is the director for Diablo 4, and then Jonathan LeCraft, which is the designer for World of Warcraft. So it's not like the assistant of the assistant of the assistant of the QA team's janitor has been fired. We're talking, like director level, which of course had to be done, but the bad news is Diablo 4 is going to be delayed because they basically lost the heads of their project.
Like, for a company so large, like literally, what is Blizzard doing for development? Like, Blizzard or like Overwatch has nothing coming out probably for 2022. Diablo 4, who knows when that's coming out? Diablo, the mobile game, whatever that's called, Diablo Immortal. I haven't heard anything about that. Diablo 2 Resurrected isn't even done by a Blizzard studio. That was outsourced.
The mobile game's not by Blizzard either.
Yeah, so it's like, for as massive of a company, like, there's a huge content drought with World of Warcraft. They haven't had Jack Squadouche for a while. So it's like...
Here's the secret. Activision Blizzard is actually Activision. Activision has found a way to basically basically shave all of what Blizzard is off and then throw it to third-party teams going, yeah, it's still us.
I know, and it's like, and I'm probably one of those people who still thinks like, Blizzard, man, yeah, great games.
It's like...
And I know it's not.
We're unfortunately to the point where Activision is basically going, okay, we're going to just slap the Blizzard Entertainment sticker on this, and it's a Blizzard game, woo! Because of course, Blizzard, name recognition, and that's all it is. It's its name recognition. Now, you're more likely to buy a game that has Blizzard Entertainment smacked on the side than you are with, I don't know, mundane two-legged monkeys, which is actually just regular. But anyways,
but that's where like Blizzard's not really even releasing anything. That's what's so crazy.
Because they have no one there. All of their projects are third-party companies, so they're not actually doing much in-house besides having to drop everyone because of the toxicity in their environment.
Yeah.
They're getting double whammied. All their dirty laundry's being aired, and Activision is continuing to try to downsize them.
Yeah. I mean, like on one hand, I fully am all about Blizzard get what's coming to them for the toxicity and everything there. But on the other hand, it's just like that little piece of my heart who grew up playing those awesome Blizzard games cries a little of like, one of those great companies of my youth is basically dead.
Yes. Actually, many a company from our youth are dead.
No, that's actually very valid.
That's very true. Because I was like, I was
carry the mantle at least or something.
I was thinking back to some of the games that I played early on in my career, And I was like, yeah, that company's gone. That company's gone.
Yeah.
That one got sold and then sold and then sold and then sold. But, okay, so keeping in the same vein as Blizzard Activision, this one is not a lawsuit. It has come out that the upcoming season of the Call of Duty League will require all participants to have proof of vaccination, which to me is no shit, Sherlock. That's what you need to do. But of course, in the wonderful US of A, there's probably enough people that will stomp their feet to be like, well, I'm an American. I can do what I want, even if I do end up on a ventilator.
Well, a bunch of like venues and concerts stuff are requiring either a proof of vaccination or a proof of a negative
test
PCR
within 48 hours.
Within 24 hours or 48 hours.
Yeah, I think it's
days or whatever it is.
That number is something that's always changing. 48 hours, 36 hours, 24 hours. Just go every single day, spit in the cup, have it tested, and just carry around a new one.
Just make it, you have to have your vaccination period. Make it easy.
Find someone who can do the test and then handcuff yourself to them so at the drop of a hat, they could do the test so you're golden.
Sounds like you've thought about this a lot.
Maybe. So look, here's the thing. I want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to get their vaccination because in the long run, it's going to help us. I think.
What if I never leave my house again? I'm just going to stay inside where it's safe.
I don't think that will work for eternity, but you never know. You can prove me wrong, Zealeus, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to work.
I mean, I can get food delivered to me.
There's some other stuff that I don't think you can get delivered straight to you, but we're not going to go into that.
Can you deliver the beer to me?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Can. I can't get on the internet.
I think I could personally. Well, I don't know. We'll research it after the show. I do want to say that there is a game out there that has been in development forever and a day, and that game is a game called Kerbal Space Program. It's an indie title that's been in development for over 10 years. And basically the first version was you build your own rocket and then crash it into the ground. And it's been constantly updated for 10 years. Big updates, small updates, little tweaks here, all that stuff. The company behind it has finally announced that there are going to be no more big releases. There might be like a tweak here or there, but overall they are done with that game after 10 years of updating and developing it. Jeez. And they're going to move on to Kerbal Space Program 2. Like, wow, that's original. So they're basically just going to give you the new iteration, the new best thing. But to basically have, oh shoot, I was going to do this. What's the active users, Steam active users for Kerbal?
I don't know.
Here we go. Steam charts. That's what I was looking for. In the last 30 days, they're averaging they're averaging 34 3,400 players, which ain't bad at all.
It's more than my game.
Good Lord. As of an hour ago, there were 3,250 players playing. And this game has been around for 10 years. It's been constantly updated for 10 years. And they still got 3,200 people playing right now. That's good. So the best of luck in Kerbal Space Program 2. Now let's go back to the dark side. And
the dark side of the moon?
Oh, if only. So here's the thing. Apparently, we talk a lot about the lawsuits, which of course have been mainly about Activision and Blizzard. But there is another company that we're always having to talk about every once in a while that has some kind of issue. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce you to one of the streaming platforms that we utilize, and that is Twitch. There has been a new Twitch campaign called Be Better Twitch, hashtag Be Better Twitch, which centers around harassment raids and botting. So here's the deal. There's been a surge in bot-driven hate raids against women and minority streamers on Twitch. And that's why the Do Better Twitch campaign has been started. Twitch, of course, has actually responded. Thank you to everyone who shared these difficult experiences. We were able to identify a vulnerability in our proactive filters and have rolled out an update to close this gap and better detect hate speech in chat. We'll keep updating this to address emerging issues. Now, here's the thing. So yes, hate speech. Yes, bravo. Continue to evolve that so that that filters catch that kind of stuff, and hopefully kick the haters in the balls. But I'm still kind of curious as to how this is going to, how it's going to deal with the botting raids, right?
I mean, like at some point, I'm unfortunately not sure what Twitch can actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, on one hand, like people have bots on Twitch to do this stuff, like to automate things for people. I mean, that's part of the online tools that people want in an online platform. And part of that is bots. So it's like, I mean, sure, Twitch could probably have like AI to try to, and I'm guessing they do, to try to detect these type of things. But there's always that balance between like being overzealous and not enough. I know, like I used to do email web filter spamming when we held it on campus, and it's hard. Like, just a silly example is our web filter by default would catch as spam if you said hot in an email too many times, because it thought you're talking about like someone who is hot.
It's very hot weather in this hot area in the building. Yeah. I think the AC's broken, so it's just extremely hot in this room.
And that would get flagged as spam. And so like, okay, I'm going to disable the hot keyword. But that was one very specific school of like 100 people. I could figure that out, right?
Yep.
That was a very easy circumstance to solve a solution. But you're dealing with people on Twitch where maybe someone is coming in and spamming you with, oh, you're the hottest person who I ever been on, and you're so hot. I want to do hot things to you. But then
it's context to have But
then the channel next to it is talking about the hot weather. Mm-hmm. And it's really hot, like to your point. So that's what makes it so hard. It's not just, flagging keywords. Anyone can do that. It's getting, like you said, the context of what's going on around it.
Mm-hmm.
So on one hand, I think there's ways where obviously, yes, Twitch can do better. But on the other hand, there's always the question of how. There's not an easy solution to it, because now you're really kind of starting to talk about the AI part and really being able to predict what people's actual intentions in their words are.
Mm-hmm.
And, some channels get off on that, right? Like there's some channels that enjoy the less than kosher talk. And that's
right. They want the edgy, racy, they want the audience to be free.
Yeah. And so, Twitch starts coming in with the hammer, those are going to get crossed, obviously caught in there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a simple solution to this issue other than, the best solution is people just for asshats, obviously.
Well, of course, control yourself, but that's, come on.
You can't have nice things.
No. And to be totally honest with you, I know some people are like, well, you just need, in popular channels, you just need someone, an actual person to monitor, to keep an eye on it. But then, and this is the problem, is now you're dealing with a person's opinions or views of context. Some people might view different things, different phrases and or conversations differently. And so certain things could be blocked. Certain things that are very, racy could get through because it's the opinion of the moderator.
Well, I do think at least for the larger channels, you're usually going to have a mod on anyways. Like you and I are mods both in this chat. So like, I don't think for like the big name ones, it's like those small to medium sized ones.
Right.
Where, let's be honest, Twitch isn't going to allocate an employee to moderate those. So I guess, maybe this isn't the proper way of thinking about it, probably according to a lot of people, but then maybe it's reverse it. Maybe it is on the channel to take responsibility and find moderators.
So,
Twitch has that built-in functionality,
right,
to delegate moderation to your channels. That's a big thing. That was always a huge thing on forums.
Yeah.
Is if you're going to have a forum of some sort online, you probably have to have moderators, because otherwise we all know people are going to shit on it.
Yes, it's going to be the Wild West. And to be honest with you, in a perfect world, if it was possible, I would love for Alter Confusion to have a moderator behind the scenes that's doing, because right now what Zealeus and I are doing is we're able to moderate the chat. But I'd love to have someone like behind the scenes that might be able to, pipe in a somewhat, like a voice chat, or maybe an additional video, kind of a producer role, so that we're not constantly having to make sure that we don't get the, hey, this is the easiest way to gain 5,000 new subscribers. Yeah. Or check out my pics, follow this link. But yeah, there's not a perfect solution. But to be honest with you, with the amount of problems when it comes to minority groups or, gender bias and stuff like that, you would think that you'd have some sort of team into place that would be like super duper diving into this stuff. But that being said, most people have this current mindset about Twitch. It's not to say that Twitch isn't taking the issue seriously, but rather that it's slow and often unprepared for the shifting ways harassment comes through the platform. Regardless, Twitch's fix is hopefully effective, and its upcoming anti-harassment tool, which will arrive sooner than later, will hopefully be utilized.
Because even you think about it, it's one of the things with Twitch is it's an open channel. Like anybody can come join ours and spam it, right? Whereas you turn on the reverse and something like a Discord, like it's pretty trivial to keep the hammer on like a Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And at least that's my experience. Is Twitch is or Discord. You can lock it down and prevent people. And there's a lot of tools you have. You have slow down chat. That's not the right name, I know.
Right. No, but you can basically time out. And also in our Discord channel, if you are a patron, you have access to the voice channels. If you're not a patron, or myself or Zealeus, then those channels are locked.
Yeah. It's a very different type of atmosphere of other things. And it's like Discord, for instance, like I'm not aware of built-in anti-harassment tools, other than the fact that the platform itself, because of its kind of closed nature that you can open up, obviously, is closed. But like some of the larger Discords I'm on, they'll have moderators.
Yeah.
To lock that stuff down pretty quickly, where people do come in and spam, they get the ban hammer pretty freaking quickly. And that's a large part of the work of, if you're on a large Discord, is there is going to be that moderation to make sure there's not the crazy stuff going on.
Well, it's an expected. Once a stream or a channel or whatever gets to X amount of users, you have to have a moderator. If you don't, then shit's going to fall apart real fast.
I think the last part too is Twitch is live. Like
that too.
You know what I mean? It's live TV with that live interaction. And I think people do get their jellies based on that live interaction. Is what, that live reaction you get from people, like on a visceral video perspective.
Right. Well, I know that, that one of the solutions is like, well, you should delay the chat so the moderator could check it out. But I'm like, look, we've already got a delay. If it's a live show where you're got audience participation, adding an additional delay, Zealeus and I could be on two topics different before we could actually see some of the stuff.
Yeah, I don't think the delay's the issue. What I've seen, at least on the more popular Twitch ones, is it's just the number of comments in general. So like the delay isn't going to do anything. So now all of your comments are just going to be delayed by 10 seconds. Doesn't actually do anything.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure how that solves anything. Yeah.
So actually, this news article just came at me here as kind of like, I guess, a follow-up to the whole Blizzard losing yet another round of top-notch directors and executives and stuff. One of the individuals, of course, that has been removed from Blizzard is a gentleman by the name of Jesse McCree, which Jesse McCree is basically a huge part of Blizzard, and there's actually a Overwatch character named McCree.
Yep.
But since his leaving of the company, the Overwatch League casters have banded together and will not say McCree live on stream. They'll be like, this player has the kill, or something like that. They will not say McCree.
I'll be interested to see if they keep their jobs.
At this point, they probably, everyone's probably like, yeah, we can't touch that.
Honestly, like, if you're just a casual, well, people are watching Overwatch League know what's going on, I would assume.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, if I'm watching Overwatch League, I'm really not going to probably even notice, to be honest.
Well, because the vast majority of the time, if you're watching Overwatch League, they're not saying the character name. They're saying the gamer tag.
True. That's a good point, too. So unless, like, they make it very obviously, like, the guy with the cowboy hat, then you probably notice.
The Wild Western gentleman with the guns. Yeah. So, okay, I have to say this. There was like an update or something to the iPhone, especially around the apps. For the love of all that's holy, your stupid little X to exit out of the fucking ad is too small now. I'm like, I tap the screen and it goes, oh, here's the App Store page. We're like, no, close. Touch the X again. Oh, there's the App Store. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, you want to watch the ad again for twice as long this time?
No, okay. Thankfully it doesn't restart the ad, but it just keeps bringing up the App Store going, here's how you get it. I'm like, I don't want it. I just want to close the fucking thing.
Yep, that's sneaky. I hear that.
I mean, I still have a shit ton of issues with the fact that I'm still of the opinion that you can't do all this bullshit story or gameplay that does not actually happen in the game. For some reason, I don't know why, but I swear to God, all of my ads are centered around an individual who catches their loved one in an act and they're heartbroken and they have to restart their lives at the restaurant or the house or this place where they've got to build a village, but everyone's like, that's how it starts. Like, I've played a couple of those games. That storyline still weren't in there at all.
Sounds about right, sir.
Yeah. Let's see here. Zealeus, what are you playing?
I haven't been playing much this week. I've just been reading lately.
I'll be honest with you. I've read a shit ton. I went through a 4-book series in a week.
Nice.
I just got hooked on it. It was very interesting. However, that being said, what is it about when you do like good versus evil, like science fiction, why does it always have to be angels and vampires?
Would you prefer like demons and fairies?
Well, like, you know, there's dark demons and there's light demons and there's dark fairies and there's light fairies. Why are all these damn books like all angels are good, all vampires are bad? That's just me, though.
I haven't read like any book lately with an angel, so I can't help you there.
It's the more racy novels, let's say.
Yeah, I don't really read smut, so can't.
It's not smut, sir. It's not. Okay, it's called what? Romance.
You keep telling your nether regions that.
Ha 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 ha. Shit, I was gonna say something else. I beat Scarlet Nexus.
Oh, nice.
It's a good game. Highly recommend it. It does give you a new game plus mode,
yeah.
where you can go back and finish all the blah blah blah.
Of course they do.
The one thing about the game, and I'm going to write this up. I'm actually in the process of writing the review, but the one thing that I was just kind of like, were the side quests. Like, I totally forgot to keep checking for them, and then right before the end, I just went to like all of the city places, and I just got all the quests, and I looked at them going, yeah, no, I don't have to do this.
Yeah, that's one thing I did read about the game is the side quests are kind of like, meh.
Well, I understand. Basically, what the side quests, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make you utilize all the characters, and also increase the friendship rating or ranking, or I guess friend bonding ranking or whatever the hell it's called. So it's like you kill these 3 of these type of enemies utilizing this special ability.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm good. How about I just kill them? I'm just gonna kill them.
I like to kill. That's what I do.
I like to kill a lot. But be on the lookout for that review coming soon. I, of course, will be switching the Beast Inside playthrough to public next week. And then look for a review for that one. And the game that's coming up next. Actually, I'm going to give it up to... I'm going to post a poll on Patreon. And then if I don't get enough love and support, I'll actually, you know what? F it. I already know what my damn thing is. It's not even going to go up for a vote. Let's be honest. I have been dying to play a game called Retro Machina, which is from an independent developer. I wrote about it a couple months ago, and it's out. It's on Switch and on PC. I would love to play it on Switch, but I, of course, bought it on the PC because it was on sale one time. So that will be my next playthrough.
There you go.
And, of course, the patrons will have first dibs on the playthrough. Now, I do have a question before we wrap up, and that is personal preference. Would you rather have the early access playthrough dropped in one big bundle, or like episode, and then then 2 days later another episode, then 2 days later?
Early access, all one bundle.
That's what I figured. That's what I was going with. So, because it also allows me to kind of gauge how long certain sections are. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our show. I know we're all sad, but it's okay. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next Thursday. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything from our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.